Peachy be the one to bless ya, but don't test her. The queen reigns supreme, you know what I mean? Add the boy Breezy, Prince, like a king. When the two come together in any weather, they form a bond, stay tight in any measure. So it's my pleasure, the number one team. Let the world know what's your fantasy. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to What's Your Fantasy? What's going on, Peachy?
What is up?
Nothing. This is you know what I'm gonna start doing? I'm gonna count all my leagues, all my teams, I mean. And I'm going to start giving you my win-lose percentage every week because it's not good. Like it's like fantasy football for me. You know, I'm 3-0 in one league. 1 out of 13 leagues, I'm 3-0 in. It just happens to be the nitty-gritty Niners league, but I think I'm gonna lose this weekend because it's just crazy. But yeah, how was your day today? We got to get into some fantasy football talk. We got lots of stuff we want to go over, but I just want to check in with you. How was your day?
It was actually pretty good. It was pretty decent. Was trying to let everybody at work know about our fantasy show because they all play fantasy football, and they're like, yeah, okay, well, I might. I'm like, okay, so do you think I don't know about? No. I know you know about fantasy. We've been doing fantasy for stuff or whatever, and I'm like, okay, so you need to tune into the fantasy show so you can get some fantasy advice.
There it is. And so we have like unadulterated, like our advice is like literally good advice.
Yes.
We might not have all the bells and whistles on this show because you know we still learning how to make that stuff work. But I can tell you right now, you got to start listening to us because Peachy told me that Keenan Allen was the man, and I was like, no, he ain't. He old. And Keenan Allen is killing this year in fantasy football. And we're going to talk about it. I promise you. Listen, make sure you guys like this joint. Don't forget to leave a comment. Feel free to subscribe for those that are going to be watching a little bit later. Leave a comment in the comment section. Give us a review. Let us know how you think. If there's anything you would like to see us add or anything like that, let us know. We're open to constructive criticism. But please, if you're going to constructively criticize us, make sure you give the suggestion. How the hell are we going to know what you're talking about?
Exactly.
Don't be like, this is good or this is trash. What part is trash?
Right. What do you... what makes it trash?
Right. And I think that's what I'm looking for. But I see we got Niners _ Nation. We got Kyle in here. What's going on, fam? We got Don't Bother Me in the building as well. He's starting to show off with a question, Peachy.
Love it. Thank you, Don't Bother Me. And hello to you as well. Yes, I'm here. So Buffalo has number 2 pass defense. Who would you start, Tua versus Buffalo or Geno versus the Giants?
I'm starting Geno versus the Giants.
I am doing the same thing.
Dude, Buffalo, first of all, who did Buffalo play last? They played hold on. Let me get this out. I need to remember. I need to know who Buffalo played last week because they beat the snot out of them. Buffalo played the Commanders. I was right. See? I got to start trusting my first judgment. Peachy, they gave up 3 points to the Commanders, but their defense picked off Sam Howell 4 times. And now I think, and listen, if you have Buffalo's defense in fantasy football this year, I know they're projecting you to get 3 points. Listen, start the Buffalo defense. Don't worry about the projection. Do not worry about the projection. I'm going to tell you why. First of all, it's a division rival game, Peachy. Number 2, Buffalo's defense is too legit to quit. Like, legit. And I want to see if they're going to be able to counter that high-power offense in Miami. I don't think Tua is going to look as good against Buffalo as he did against the team they put up in 70, the Broncos. The Broncos. My man Leo says I got Buffalo, and you got both of them? Damn. Peachy, do you draft 2 defenses? Some people draft 2 defenses. Are you a 2 defensive draft person?
The only time that I draft 2 defenses is when I have a lot of room on my bench. If you know, like if you're in a league where your bench is not that big, because if nobody doesn't know that might be listening or watching, your fantasy football benches are not the same. You can have a lot of, like, you can have a gigantic bench, or you can have just like maybe 7-8 players on there. So if I have a bench like I do in my legacy one where I have like 12 free spots, then yes, I do get 2 defenses.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Because I was like, how do you have so much space? But then your league is a little bit different.
Yes.
To where you have more. Okay. Yeah. I used to be, every year when I first started playing fantasy football, I was always doubling up. 2 defenses, 2 quarterbacks, 2 tight ends, 2 this, 2 that. And then I'm starting to wise up a little bit. You can get a tight end on the waiver wire. If you get a top tight end, you don't need 2 tight ends.
No.
You can shore up your league with other, you know what I'm saying? So
that's true.
Yeah. We got questions right off the bat. I love it. F it. Buffalo or Browns defense? Who are the Browns playing this week, Peachy?
Who are the Browns playing this week?
They are playing the Ravens. That's a division game, too. They're both division games. TC12I. Sound like a calculator. That is dope. I don't know. I'm going with... But can I just tell you that Buffalo's defense put up top 5 fantasy points last week in week 3? Top 5. They scored 32 points.
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo's defense scored 32 points. I know it was the Commanders, but their defense did way better than Miami's defense did against the silly-ass Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go with Buffalo, and I know they're playing a tougher opponent, but I don't know. Peachy, who you go with, Buffalo or Browns?
I think for fantasy, I think I would have to rock with the Bills also.
And they're just stacked on every level. They got the pass rusher, and they don't even got Von Miller yet. Right. They have a top graded pass rusher on their defense. Okay, then they have the linebackers, and then they have the secondary. Their secondary is healthy. It's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. All right, let's get to the show. We got a lot of stuff we want to get to. Let's go through as far as major injuries, Peachy. I should have picked him up in every league. I wasn't thinking. I didn't draft him because I knew he would be available, but I should have picked him up. I definitely should have when I had the chance. Matter of fact, I almost lost because Jake Moody had 12 points last week.
Mm-hmm.
It was almost the difference. Let's start with the top 10 scoring leaders. Now, we're going to give you the top 10 scoring leaders in 3 ways, all right? Standard, half PPR, and PPR. This is per Fantasy Pros. That's what we rock with, all right? So as Peachy gets that pulled up, she's going to get the ticker pulled up. We're going to go through these scoring leaders. Let's start with the standard, all right? And so I'm sitting here saying to myself, these cats balled out. Top 10 scoring leaders, standard standard per Fantasy Pros. Number 1, Devon
A. Chan.
Devon A. Chan. Like A. Chan. Chan.
Yes.
Chan. Take out the chain. It's Chan.
It is not Chain. It is Chan. And apparently they have been pronouncing it wrong since high school.
He's got to correct them.
And he's wanting it since he's balling like he is. He said it's time for his name to be spelled correct or said correctly, pronounced correctly.
Said correctly. You said it right. Or yeah. Now listen, 47.3 points he scored in standard leagues. He was the number 1 scorer in standard leagues. All right. So standard is the regular, typical, you know what I'm saying, scoring. So for those that don't know what standard is, you have to go back and watch the very first episode we did where we broke down the different leagues and how they score. All right.
What up, Betty G?
What's going on, family? And so, yeah, oh man, that's a lot of points. Devon A. Chan. Now, I don't think he's available in any league because a lot of people drafted him.
Yes.
And they were just waiting for him to explode, and he actually exploded. Number 2, Raheem Mostert. So they had double running backs in the same game.
Crazy.
Damn. Number 3.
Could you imagine, okay, you know how we used to make fun of people that used to take 2 running backs from a team instead of, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Could you imagine having both of those on the same?
I mean, yo, you never draft 2 running backs from the same team unless it's the Miami Dolphins.
Apparently. Yeah. That's what you do now.
Wow. 47.3, 38.2. The Buffalo Bills, the number 1 scoring defense, 32 points. They were number 3. Justin Herbert, 29.3 was number 4. Devontae Adams. Let's talk about Devontae Adams, 29.2. He wants out of there. He doesn't want to be in Oakland.
Yep.
Well, I just feel like this. No matter where he goes or who's throwing him the ball, just throw him the damn ball. Like Devontae, and he got injured in this game. He ended up getting a concussion, right? Mm-hmm. And so his stats got put on hold. But he still, before the concussion, Peachy,
still did very well.
29.2 points. Number 6. Now, how did I spell that wrong? I know I didn't add that letter in there. So I apologize for the spelling. That's what happens when you're trying to type super fast. Tua Tagovailoa. Was it Vailoa?
Tagovailoa.
Tua Tagovailoa. That's too many syllables for Tua Tagovailoa. Tua Tagovailoa. Vailoa. Is it V-I-A-L or V-A-I-L?
I think it's A-I. I'm not sure.
Right. So then why would it be Vailoa? See what I'm saying?
It's weird.
Okay. We're going to get the names right at some point in our lives. That's what it is. So Tua, TT, 28.4 points in the Standard League. Lamar Jackson was 7th, 28.2 points. Kenneth Walker III, 27.6. Boy, did he surge up after it's like a slow start to the game. They started off with like Zach Charbonnet, and he finished it. Keenan Allen, your guy, 27.5 points in a Standard League at 9. And then number 10, good old Kirko Cousins, 26.7. Peachy, I tweeted this earlier. People are going to be mad. I don't even think people responded to this tweet just because his name was Kirk Cousins. You ready? Kirk Cousins is the number 1 scoring fantasy football quarterback. Did you hear me? He's the number 1 scoring fantasy football quarterback.
It's crazy.
Look, I got to find the tweet because I know I tweeted it. I was like, what am I writing here? What the hell is going on?
Yep.
72.7 points. Justin Herbert is number 2 at 72.4. Tua Tagovailoa is 69.8 points. Jordan Love is 4th.
Yes.
What? Why am I not starting him? You told me to start Justin Fields over Jordan Love?
Yes, I did.
Don't listen to Peachy's advice anymore, ladies and gentlemen. Please.
Oh, my God.
I'm never starting Justin Fields. Peachy, what do I do with Justin Fields? Somebody tell me, do I just cut him? Because the moment I do it, he's going to throw 4 touchdowns, rush for 3 touchdowns, 7 touchdowns in one game.
Just shelve him on the bench.
Yeah, but that makes me take 3 quarterbacks.
I mean,
plus I'm playing a game where I keep I'm keeping quarterbacks away from other people.
Keep away. Got it. I can admit that I was wrong. I can't admit that I was wrong. I just
Peachy
did not see that coming. And I mean, at the beginning of the year, I mean, people had him like as a surprise MVP candidate, like a sleeper. So I mean, we didn't expect that. So my advice to anyone who has any Chicago Bears players on your team, it might be time to cut them or bench them or something, because mentally things ain't right in Chicago. Like I put on Twitter, I think that the thieves that broke into Soldier Field or whatever it's called now, that stole some stuff, they must have stole the playbooks because I didn't see it.
I was thinking they stole anything. Remember what was it? And they stole their talents. Was that Space Jam? And the talents got stolen?
Yeah. Something. Because
the Bears are gone. The talent is gone.
It's bad.
It's
bad. Really bad. Yeah.
Or they got the talent, they just don't know how to play with it.
It's crazy. It's bad there.
So
in
what do I
Chicago.
do, Peachy? I got Fields and I got DJ Moore. I can't release him and just let him off into the sunset and put him back in the waiver.
I'm with you on that. I mean, I had to make that decision too, because as soon as I release somebody who I want to release, then something miraculous is going to happen. They're going to ball out. Someone's going to pick them up as soon as I release them, because they're going to be thinking, oh, maybe, that's whatever. And I just can't do it. Like, I can't quit them. I can bench them.
But then so when you bench them, that's taking up space.
It is.
To where you can't grab the waiver wire
how
guy.
many you have on the bench, because if you have too many on the bench, then the best thing to do is cut them. Don't bother me saying there's a lot of people that are saying to let him go.
It's so hard. How do I say goodbye? Don't make me laugh, because
some people are hoping that they're going to get this figured out, but I mean, I get it, man. This one right here, Fields just, yeah.
I wanted to get to LeoBowden's team. He put his team up. He says he has Herbert and Lawrence as quarterback. He has CMC. He picked up Jerome Ford as a running back. He has Brandon Ayuk and Debo. Michael Thomas, who's playing, I would say, decent. Calvin Ridley, who had an amazing week 1 and then just fell off. Mm-hmm. George Kittle. How did they let you get Kittle and Pitts?
How many teams are in this thing?
It's got to be 8. It's got to be 8. This dude team is stacked. He got Herbert and Lawrence.
It has to be 8.
CMC had to be your first pick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to figure out who might have been his second pick. Maybe he took Herbert in the second round or Debo. I don't know. He got 2 kickers, McPherson and Cool, and then he got the 2 defenses, and he 3-0, so he don't give a he is 3-0. Leo, you are 3-0, so you keep draft. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pay you to draft for me next year. That's how you do it.
That's great.
That's how you do it.
That's really great.
He says the 10 team. What is wrong? My 10 team PPR be on some different, bro. Like, they left nobody.
Ours too. There was no crumbs. There was
nothing. There's nobody even on the waiver wire right
crumbs.
now.
There is no crumbs left. None. That is crazy. Oh. Yes, Eddie G, he's got to go. He definitely does have to go. One, people are like, he didn't even know where he was. Like, DJ Moore had to take him off.
Didn't he get a hit though? He had a concussion.
Yeah. He got hit, but and they had to get him off. The whole coaching staff was sitting over there. Nobody was trying to pull him off. DJ Moore had to do it. Like, they're just a mess.
They look like the Bad News Bears.
They really do.
That's what they look like. I'm just waiting for people to start cursing and start throwing stuff,
right?
And then sign me up. And then,
I just feel bad for Fields that he got drafted to there, because I really was rooting for him to get drafted somewhere where and you could just tell, like, by the look on his face when he got like, it's like he already knew that that was just a bad idea to even play there.
Terrible idea, BG. Terrible idea. Mike says they're playing Denver.
No,
this
me
week.
and Breezy have already talked about this game.
This is the worst game on TV. That might
worst.
But here's the thing: it may be the most exciting,
and it may be the one where he really balls out. Because what if Fields winds up doing like because it's Denver.
And guess where he'll be? On my bench. Okay, guys, I have a dilemma. I have 3 quarterbacks in this league. I think it's my money league. Once I lost Nick Chubb, I just started panicking, and I was like, I gotta get a better quarterback now. 3 quarterbacks, right? I picked up Jordan Love. No, I think I dropped Deshaun Watson. I picked up Jordan Love, and then Jared Goff was still available, who's been a top fantasy quarterback. They play Thursday night. I'm very superstitious on playing players on Thursday night. What do I do? Because I don't want to wait till Sunday to see if Justin Fields is going to play well against this Denver defense. and I don't want to miss the opportunity. Remind you, Jordan Love is the fourth fantasy scoring quarterback in the NFL. He's number 4. He's right above Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
So what do I do? People don't want Justin Fields. I could try. What am I gonna trade him for? Pack of bubble gum? They don't want him.
No, you need to just probably put him on the pitch and see what happens. I'm
gonna play Love. I think he said play Love. I'm scared
definitely.
to play quarterback. I'm scared. I don't like playing players on Thursday night.
Now I will say that Bakhtiari is not going to be cleared in time
Dang.
for Thursday. But Christian Watson and Aaron Jones are on pace to play. But Bakhtiari was not. So that means that he wasn't good enough today to clear by tomorrow, because tomorrow's the game. So he wasn't cleared to go this afternoon. So he's not playing tomorrow. He is ruled out.
So the help that I thought he was getting to protect him.
Exactly.
Okay.
Is not coming back.
All right, Juan Mourinho says, should I trade Ridley and Thielen for Yes.
Whoa.
Wait.
Hold up.
This is not a question.
Wait,
Do
who's
it
got
now.
what? Wait.
Wait,
So
should I trade Ridley and Thielen for Josh? All I see is Josh Allen. I don't give about nothing else. Garrett Wilson ain't him because he can't beat him. Yes. Like hopefully Trevor Siemian comes in and they take him off the practice squad. But I think Trevor Siemian would be a much better quarterback for the Jets than Zach Wilson. This is not a question. This is a do it now before they renege.
ASAP, before they realize what they've done.
Yo, listen, do it now. Like, leave the show. No, keep the show on.
What is there, 6-year-olds doing this fantasy thing?
Like who? And then who is your quarterback? You're about to get Josh Allen. I'm curious to know, Juan, who is your quarterback?
I want to know who their quarterback is that they have.
Wait a minute.
In order for them to even trade Josh Allen.
Peachy, maybe they did what I did.
Like, what quarterback is that?
Remember that one draft where it wasn't logging me in on time? And so it made me draft back-to-back quarterbacks because I was the last pick.
Yes.
So I drafted Jalen Hurts and Justin Herbert.
That's right.
Now, I traded Herbert, ladies and gentlemen. I traded Herbert for Jamar Chase, but I didn't get Jamar Chase's points from last week. But he didn't get Herbert's points from last week either. What would you, first of all, Peachy, what would you grade that trade? Jamar Chase for Justin Herbert straight up. And then I forgot the other question I was asking. But what would you grade that trade?
I mean, that's a great trade for the one that got Chase.
That's me. I got Chase.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't draft wide receivers.
Right.
Peachy, that was the league that I lost Nick Chubb.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I went Chubb high on the running backs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, it's rough, man. It's rough. Juan, if you're listening still, you got to do that. Niners _nation. Mm-hmm. Kyle, I promise you, bro, we about to get to this because it's so weird because last week, you know who the Houston Texan player that was on the rise was? Former Michigan player.
Oh, yeah.
Nico Collins.
Mm-hmm.
And then they switched it up. So, matter of fact, so here's your top 10 half PPR, and then here's your top 10. Look at the difference when you play PPR. This is what I wanted to show you.
Mm-hmm.
Etienne, 51.3 points. Keenan Allen. Mose beat me because of Keenan Allen.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I lost.
People because of Keenan Allen.
That's how I lost. So, shout out to Mose. Whatever. F Mose. All right, here we go. So, Etienne 51.3, Keenan Allen 45.3, Raheem Mostert 45.2, Devontae Adams 42.2, the Buffalo Bills defense 32, Adam Thielen. Let's talk about Adam Thielen. Let's circle that name because he's going to give up Adam Thielen. Now, when Bryce Young comes back, I feel like Thielen is a non-factor.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
The only reason why that he is a factor is because Andy Dalton is throwing him the rock. And with Andy Dalton being a vet, then of course the natural one that he would go to is the elder statesman on the team. And that's why Thielen got so. And another thing, the defenses weren't prepared for that because they thought that he was going to be targeting somebody totally different. So they weren't prepared for Thielen to be getting the ball that much. They knew he was out there, but they didn't know that that was the plan. But that was literally their plan, is to get it to Thielen as much as possible.
I mean, if I'm the Carolina Panthers, he's their best playmaker.
Yeah.
And then you can probably free up you can show Miles Sanders some love. But that's for Andy Dalton. Like Andy Dalton, like you said, veteran guy, go to the veteran guy. Bryce Young is practicing this week. So we will see what's going to happen when it comes to Bryce Young. Bryce Young might be starting again. All right. 7, Tyreek Hill, 30.7. Kenneth Walker the third, 30.6. Justin Herbert, 29.3. Tua Tagovailoa, 28.4. Those are your top 10 scoring leaders for PPR. All right, per PPR.
So we have a question right here in
sure.
This one. Do I trade Etienne and Mike Evans for Eckler? And I also have McCaffrey.
You start it. I'll finish it. Oh, we getting the questions. I love the questions. This is the best part of the show. You want me to start it? You finish it? How you want to do this?
You start it. I'll finish it.
So I don't like Travis Etienne. I haven't been a fan. The only issue here is Eckler and his health. And I'm not sure if he's going to be playing this week. And I have him on a couple of teams, and he is killing me softly. Are you able, Neek? Like, were you able to get Josh Kelly? I mean, I don't really like Joshua Kelly, but I know you got CMC. But if you get a healthy Eckler with a healthy CMC,
oh yeah,
woo! The only thing, you're going to give up your consistent Mike Evans game. I don't care what happens. That man is finishing with plus 20 points.
Or something. Yeah,
definitely. It's 20 or plus every game.
Absolutely.
He can play for 3 quarters and have 0 catches, and all of a sudden the fourth quarter he'll get 6 targets for 2 touchdowns. I promise you're going to get 20 points from Mike Evans every single game. So that's consistent, and he's not injured. So you're going to give up 2 players that are healthy for an injured guy. I don't know if that's wise. What do you think, Peachy?
I agree with what you said because we don't understand the status of his injury. And he's getting there, but he's not there. And he may, he could re-injure. Once a player does something like this, it normally, winds up re-injuring. It's the only thing. But like Breezy said, Mike Evans is just money. That he's going to do something every single game. That he's going to impact and get fantasy points every week. Every
Baker Mayfield,
solitary week from Baker. And so there's a lot of people that I guess are asking the same question about what they should do. Should they keep Eckler? Because a lot of people have Eckler and they're like, maybe it's time to move on from him, blah, blah, blah. And I was thinking like this, but I mean, he's returned to practice. They haven't said that he's playing. They just said that he's doing better. So, it's kind of like a day-to-day situation. Because you have McCaffrey, I wouldn't.
Well, can we ask him, who are your wide receivers? I care less about your running backs. You got McCaffrey and you got Etienne. That's a great combination. But who else do you have at your wide receiver spot? And put that inside of the chat and we'll get back to it. Niners_Nation says James Cook versus Dolphins. or George Pickens versus Texans in the flex spot? I still don't know how Buffalo uses their running backs, yo. They like I know Cook might have had a good scoring week last week, but will it be consistent? They're playing a division game. The Texans defense is pretty solid. Like the secondary is pretty solid. No Derek Stingley though.
Right.
But they still got some guys out there. I don't know. I like putting running backs in those spots, especially if they're pass catching running backs and it's a PPR league.
Absolutely.
So I would probably go with James Cook.
Yeah, I think I would go with James Cook because the one weakness that Miami does have is their defense.
I agree.
And their run defense, actually. So it's a, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I believe they're getting back Jalen Phillips. But other than that, like, I agree with Peachy. I think you go with James Cook, and hopefully they just utilize him right. Like, I don't expect them to rush a lot, but if you can get him to catch some screen passes, him get into some one-on-one situations, that could be a good time for James Cook and the Buffalo Bills.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
All right, so here we go. Neek says, my wide receiver 1 and 2 are Evans and A.J. Brown, and I have Mike Thomas, Chris Kirkland, and Hollywood Brown, and he picked up Rashee Rice from the Kansas City Chiefs. So can he spare? He has Mostert. I don't know how. I mean, you want to use Mostert now. You don't want him sitting on your bench. At some point, Mostert's going to break down, so you want to make sure you getting the best out of him now. So he should be in your lineup. I don't know, Peachy. Nick might be on to something.
Might be. Definitely.
It's just you don't know when you're getting Eckler back. Now, he did practice. He is practicing, but he's limited. So that could be good, but he still might not be ready to go.
Right.
Because he's going to have to replace Mike Evans with, I feel like the best receiver he got on here is Christian Kirk. Other than A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown would be your one. So I don't know. That's tough. I think I like Mike Evans. He's been consistent, and I don't know. You need a receiver back, but you're getting Eckler, so that technically is a receiver. I wouldn't do it. Yeah, I wouldn't do it. Yeah. What's your record too, Neek, by the way?
Right.
Just curious to know. MGJMHK. Who's a running back I could target? These are the running backs I can package for an upgrade. Jerome Ford, Tyler Algier, Joshua Kelly, Elijah Mitchell, Jamal Williams, Jeff Wilson Jr. Is Jeff won't be cleared till next week, right? He was on the
right, and he's gonna. With Miami being so deep at running back, they're going to bring him back very, very slowly. They're not going to take any chances with. So that's definitely not one that I would target if I was anyone. Definitely not. Not with that stable of running backs they got, the way they're running them. Neek says that he's 2-1.
All right. 2-1 is good. Yeah, I think you'll be 3-1 after this week, depending on your matchups.
Absolutely.
So he says running backs that I can package for an upgrade. These are the running backs. So these are his running backs. Ford, Algier, Kelly, I believe, Elijah Mitchell, Jamal Williams, and then Jeff Wilson Jr. I believe these are his running backs. He's trying to package them for an upgrade.
You have all these running backs?
I think,
on one team? That's a lot of running backs.
I think that's how I'm reading it. 1, 2, 3,
Is that
4,
what
5.
He's saying?
I think so. Or because I know, I wouldn't trade for any of these motherfuckers. Like I would. We're just using the context clues, Peachy. I'm not trading for any one of these dudes.
I'm just trying to figure out why it's so many running backs.
Yo, I stock up on running backs too.
How long is the bench though? You must have like a huge bench because he's not.
He might be super dope at the wide receiver position, and he had to do running back by committee. And so he just stocked up on backs. Look, Jamal Williams is out with an injury. Elijah Mitchell just got his first touches last week. Jeff Wilson Jr. is out with an injury. Jerome Ford is his best bet.
Yeah.
Kelly, I just don't think he's the guy. He's the guy that expels Eckler. He's not a number one running back. Algier's not getting the touches that he should. Week 1 was fine. Week 2, it was downhill. Week 3, nope. None of the running backs did well. Not even Bijan Robinson.
What's going on in Atlanta. Like, nobody understands that whole, like, Bijan, didn't have a good fantasy week. I mean, it's, Atlanta's doing the same thing that Atlanta always does. They just Atlanta. And that's what they do. And I live right beside Atlanta, so I know all about it.
Atlanta gonna Atlanta.
Atlanta gonna Atlanta. Goodness gracious. All right. So
if these are his running backs, his number one, his best value is going to be with Jerome Ford.
Yes, definitely. Hands down.
And you got 2 hurt guys up here. I don't know what you would get. Like, what are you trying to target? He's trying to say who's a running back. He's trying to target a different running back. So he's trying to upgrade the running back.
Gotcha.
But you couldn't give me all 6 of these guys for any running back. I do like Jerome Ford though.
Me too.
And I'm hoping that the Browns continue to give him the opportunities. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, continue to give Jerome Ford the opportunities. I know Kareem Hunt is back. Kareem Hunt got his opportunities on last Sunday, but I know they can't wait to filter him back into the offense. Like, you can tell. But Jerome Ford is scoring. He's catching. I like Jerome Ford. Kid out of Cincinnati, I believe that's where he came from.
Gotcha. Yep. Sounds good.
All right, so we got a couple more questions up in here. Let's just get to these. George Play 01. Should I sell Kenneth Walker? I'm worried about the snap share with Charbonnet. Nah, what do you think?
No.
I don't think the snap share matters, George Play, especially after last week.
Yes. Kenneth Walker is doing great, and the Seahawks are trying to get him even more involved with their running game and screens and like all of that. So Kenneth Walker is starting to look more like the college Kenneth Walker. So definitely no.
Yeah, he's definitely got the explosiveness back.
Yep.
When he played at Michigan State, like, remember though, he came into the league unhealthy. He was injured a lot. Remember, and so you can start to see him settle in. But he's catching, he's running. So even if he is splitting the snaps, Charbonnet might be the running back that they're going to run up the middle with and all this type of stuff. Kenneth Walker's getting the goal line touches. He's getting the pass catches.
Get the scores. Yeah, it'll be him.
I get it. What's going on, Alberto? We got a football question right here. Would you take Buffalo over Miami? Now, are you talking about the actual game, or are you talking about like defense?
Right.
Because I'm definitely taking Buffalo's defense over Miami.
Yes, absolutely.
That's gonna be a great. That's my game of the week.
That is gonna be the best game. Definitely the best game this week. So we skipped one right here.
Okay.
Nick said the guy up. Should I take it? And if you were wondering why I'm trying to get rid of Etienne, is because him and McCaffrey have the same bye week. Very smart.
Yeah, you move him. Kamara starting on Sunday, bro. Like,
yes.
They couldn't wait for him to be unleashed. And I just realized that the Saints are about to destroy the Bucks.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be a
destroy with a capital Stroy. Yeah, I would do it. I like Etienne. I just don't think they utilize him right over there in Jacksonville.
The only scary thing about the Saints, as everybody knows, is Jameis Winston is probably going to be their quarterback. And let's just hope that he doesn't have a lot of gimmies to where he does that. So that they're able to be out there enough for Kamara to get it. Because all Winston has to do is hand Kamara the ball, like screen pass the ball, like whatever you have to do to get Kamara involved. And he's ready. So this dude is talking about tearing it up. Like, because he's so excited to be back out there. So Kamara is going to be unleashed.
Let's talk about.
It's gonna be good.
You're right, and let's talk about. Here's the thing. I really get where you're going with this because the Saints lost to the Packers, so Derek Carr handed Winston a substantial lead, and Winston couldn't figure out how to add to the lead.
Right.
I don't know if that's predominantly his fault, but he didn't do anything to enhance that, to defeat the comeback kid of Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers that came back and won that game. So I don't know that. Like, look, I would do it though, because now you're going to get Kamara, and that's who they're going to lean on. Now Winston will have some veteran help, and vets love vets.
Absolutely.
Hurricane, I need you to Discord message me because we need to work on my Madden, on my MUT team, bro. Send me the message now. Don't bother me. Who should I start between Kyle Pitts and Hurst? I'm gonna let you take Atlanta questions. I can't take Atlanta questions.
I definitely wouldn't start Kyle Pitts. I don't know what is going on in Atlanta. I don't know how. Like, we were actually talking. We're talking about this on the NFL show, right?
Yes.
About Pitts.
Yes.
So I have relatives that live in Atlanta, and they keep me up to date, kind of, things on the radio and things going on, and they're not saying nice things about Kyle Pitts. They're basically saying that this is not, it's not a Falcons problem. This is a Kyle Pitts problem. I did go back where I guess he was targeted 9 times and he had like 5 receptions for 41 yards. So he's just not. Anyway, I wouldn't. People say that it has to do with Ritter, but from what I'm hearing, it also has a lot to do with Pitts, and I'm just going to leave it like that. So I wouldn't start him. Because, I mean, even with who they played last week, like if he just got 5 receptions for 41 yards, I mean, it's just not looking good for what he's going to do. Who is the Falcons playing anyway?
They're playing the Jags, and let me tell you about the Jaguars because they're fucking trash too. I don't understand. Listen, they had a great defense week 1.
Yes.
And then the shit fell apart in the last 2 games.
Yeah. Like, I don't know what happened.
How?
I don't know what happened.
How?
I don't know what happened to Jacksonville.
Now, I like that you brought that up, fam, because Jacksonville and the Atlanta Falcons will be playing the first game on Sunday in London. All right, it's a 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time game. So for those out on the West Coast, that's 6:30 a.m. You're going to have to get your behinds up to watch the first football game of that on Sunday.
Yes.
Jaguars are at home. The Falcons will be the away team, even though both teams are on the road. The Falcons have a shot at beating them because I don't know what the Jaguars defense is going to do.
I don't know either. Now, I will say that history does show that Jacksonville, which is why people feel like that they should just move there.
Right. They got 2 games.
They seem to play better, and they have like so many fans that come out and, so they treat them like they're the literal home team, like that they are there. They're from there. So in this case, I mean, I wouldn't. I would definitely go with Hurst over Pitts. I am so annoyed with Pitts. Like I have him benched like on about 4 of my leagues because it just makes me mad every time. I
try not to draft him. I try.
God, it's so ridiculous. Like I'm
Peachy, when I tell you, I try. But then he just fell right onto my team somehow, some way. Like he just fell right onto my team somehow, some way. All right, we got more questions. Alberto says, would go with BA or I'm going with Adams every week.
I mean, now,
top 5 scorer in the league.
I mean, it doesn't matter who's throwing him the ball. I guess he's just gonna find a way to get the ball. One thing that has impressed me with Adams is, and I didn't think so, I was also wrong about this. I didn't realize that Adams was going to change his trajectory of the way that he, was available for the ball. So that was something that I did not see coming. So Adams is definitely going to get his hand on that ball as much as possible, especially because he's so disgruntled and he wants out of there.
Out of there.
And he wants to be on a contender. So so definitely Adams.
Yeah, I mean, here are the receivers you start every week. Okay, Justin Jefferson,
yes,
Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, Keenan Allen. Like you just
Yep.
You start those 4 receivers.
You just do it.
You just do it. You don't question it. Yep. You don't care if they have a bad game. You just put them in your lineup. And then everything else. What? You're about to get fired. You're fired. Fired. Okay, we got more questions. I like this. All right. Rod tips down. Do I trade Hopkins and Algier for Yes. Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Do it now.
Do it ASAP.
Stop what you're doing.
On here. Yeah.
Do not pass go.
Pause this and go up there and do
go
that.
Like if somebody offered you that, do it now. Let me tell you, the rise for Zay Flowers and remember, OBJ is on his way back. That's only going to enhance his play.
Yes.
Because OBJ will be getting those doubles.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
They'll
be looking
like
at
Hopkins isn't it this year, Peachy, and Algier is not going to get the targets. I'm hoping they trade him.
And Hopkins has a lot to do with the fact that Tennessee's quarterback play is complete garbage. But in that case, doesn't matter. You got to move on from Hopkins. No one should be starting Hopkins. Like, he should not be starting. Hopkins needed to be on a team with a decent quarterback. He's definitely not. Not even close. He's in like hell because he can't get out of it. He can't do anything about it. He's locked in. He has no choice. And he just don't have a quarterback. It's
then
really bad.
He doubles up and says, Brock, this is not even a question.
Who's asking this question?
I would start. I would start anybody over Justin Fields.
Yeah.
I would put my son in over Justin Fields. At this point, he's only 6. It's something about the Bears organization. I'm not putting Justin Fields underneath the dirt. I'm not saying he's trash, but it's not working.
Right.
It's not working.
They need a whole entire something there in Chicago. It's definitely not working. Niners Nation says I literally dropped Hopkins for Tank Dell. That's awesome.
Good.
That's
because we got to talk about that.
Fantastic.
And Peachy, that leads us right into our next segment with the waiver wire pickups. All right. So I know you're going to see some names up here that we just discussed. We talked how bad they were, but you got to pick them up because we don't know the status of Austin Eckler. Right. That means that their starting running back would be Joshua Kelly. So you might want to be able to pick him up. He'll be a running back 1. That's why you want to pick guys like him up.
Yes.
All right. Josh Palmer and Quentin Johnson, the 2 wideouts. Peachy, what happened in Los Angeles? Why are these players so high up on the waiver wire?
Because Mike Williams tore his ACL and he's out for the season.
Out for the season, y'all. So,
and since Mike Williams is such a dynamic receiver that it takes 2 receivers put together in order to try to even match what he brought to that team. And it's still not going to be equal, but
right. Well, right. Because Mike Williams was a dynamic wide receiver.
Yes.
For his quarterback. Big wide receiver. Go up and grab the ball. But you know what? They did draft Quentin Johnson.
They sure did.
It's like Josh Palmer is to Keenan Allen, as Quentin Johnson is to Mike Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Mike Will is just like, I just remember games that if they didn't have him, like division games, like against Kansas City, like games that really matter, that they would have lost those games if they didn't have Mike Will playing in them. So it's definitely going to be missed this season. I'm sad because I think he's awesome, but he'll be back next year. And in the meantime, yes, those 2 receivers, they're going to try to see if they can get the same production out of both of them together. So.
Yeah, you mentioned Niners Nation. You mentioned Tank Dell. And here's the crazy part. In one of my leagues, I drafted him. People were laughing at me. I ended up releasing him because he was a rookie, and I was like, they're not going to utilize him. Like, they're not. And then now they're utilizing him, and now I'm smacking myself in the face because I think he got picked up. You know what I'm saying? So like, I knew I drafted him. Like, you know what I mean? All right, get your workout on, bro. Appreciate you for tuning in, fam.
Thank you. Don't bother me.
And so, like, yeah, like that to me. Jack says she likes your shirt.
Awesome.
That CMC shirt is fire. I'm not sure why I ain't get mine, but that junk is fire. But yeah, like, yeah, you just sometimes you hit, and sometimes you when you're sitting there trying to develop and take that early lead, like you want to be 3-0, right? You start off 3-0. Typically, you're on the right trajectory of finishing in first place, but it's a long season to go. Got to figure out how to like rebound. Injuries are gonna happen. You just pray that they don't happen to. You don't want them to happen, but they're gonna happen. So we'll see what happens.
It's just football, and it happens, and that's why you just have to master the waiver wire and figure out the best things to do for the season. And like somebody mentioned earlier when they were talking about bye weeks, you got to make sure that a lot of your players don't have the same bye weeks, so that you don't have to really, really work hard to try to fill those spots. Because bye weeks will be starting
next week.
In a few weeks. Next week, that's right.
Next week, week 5.
So
now the real football fantasy begins. Yes. Thank you, God, for bye weeks, because I'm like, man, how am I
the
catch
real
up?
Managing is
this
how
is where it starts.
This is how your management starts during the bye week.
You just gave me hope in my 0-3 league. Matter of fact, I play you in one of them leagues. We both 0-3. And you about to whip my behind this week. I'm about to be 0-4, y'all. I'm about to be 0-4. Woo, that's a bad start. Drew traded away Swift, Kenneth, and Dell for Kelsey, Jacobs, and Ayuk. How did I do? You had the best tight end. You got the number one running back from last season that's struggling right now, but I feel like he's gonna pick up once he gets back into football shape. Remember, he's one of those players that was holding out for a contract and didn't want to play on the franchise tag, and they finally got the 1-year deal done. So give him some time. And you got Ayuk. So when Ayuk plays, he plays. So
Travis Kelce is money. Every time that he's out there with Pat Mahomes, as long as Pat Mahomes is the quarterback, Kelsey's going to be money. Like you can always link them together, because that's who he's always looking for. And no matter who's on him, he's still going to catch the football. And so you definitely can never go wrong with Kelce. Travis Kelce is a fantasy gold, like every week, regardless of what happens with everybody else.
Money. I'm telling you, they're money. Alberto, should I drop Drake London to pick up Mitchell from Baltimore? Who's that from Baltimore? I don't want to drop Drake London. I feel like Drake. She just had a real quarterback. I don't know. I like Drake London. I like him more than I like Kyle Pitts, if that makes any.
Oh, Keaton Mitchell. Got it.
The running back?
Oh, you know what? Because we were talking about this last night,
Justice Hill's dealing with the concussion,
show.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And
everybody's
then
dealing with something.
Edwards, oh man, this is the kid from East Carolina, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's this, y'all, check this out. This is the Ravens' current injuries.
Oh my, it's like 30.
J.K. Dobbins, Justice Hill, Gus Edwards, OBJ, Bateman, Wallace, Linderbaum, Voorhees, Stanley, Nick Moore. Not even their defense. Didn't even get to their defensive injuries yet. It's bad over there in Baltimore. It's really, really bad right now.
I don't know how I could continue to pick them to win, and the reason why is because they have Lamar Jackson.
Yes.
Poor Lamar Jackson. This was supposed to be the 1 year he didn't have to run the ball. Remember?
Right.
They were gonna let him throw the ball. They were gonna let him dial it up. They got him some pass catchers.
So many injuries, they just can't.
And Lamar Jackson still leads the team in rushing.
Yeah.
Still leads the team in rushing
because he's got to be the running back because they don't have no running backs.
They could trade.
I don't know what they're gonna do, but
they could
this
trade
is bad.
with the 49ers for a running back. We got a plethora of
That's
them.
right.
Speaking of running backs, PG, they released Jeremy McNichols.
Yes.
I don't even understand the purpose of any of the I don't even think the purpose has a purpose at this point. The Niners just do what the Niners are going to do.
Niners have a feeling that McNichols will be back. I mean, it's just it's crazy how
Maybe they brought him in, tried to get him fitted for a uniform real quick, and it was like, all right, we got your size, you can bounce. Z Money. I don't know that number in Roman. Is it 25? Roman 15?
15. I think it's 15.
X is 10. Okay.
Z Money 15.
Z Money 15. Or Z Money XV. Maybe we shouldn't even be saying
right.
Roman
Maybe
numerals.
we shouldn't even be doing the Roman numerals. We don't know.
Should I try to trade Derrick Henry, or am I overreacting off of his 2 point?
Derrick Henry would have been gone off of my the
really?
Titans. I know that he was supposed to be one of the best, but no.
I'm telling you,
they can't Henry, get. They can't. The Titans are about like the Bears. They cannot get it together. Like they can't. Whatever's going on over there, be it the quarterback or whatever it is, they cannot do it. And Derrick Henry is not the same because they don't have the same protections. They don't have enough blocking over there. There's so many things that are just not right over in Tennessee.
Hold on. What did Derrick Henry score the week before? Because he had a blazing ass fantasy football 2 week. Like Derrick Henry had a dope fantasy week too. Let's see if I can pull it up right here. Damn, he damn. He not even. Wait. I gotta be reading this wrong. Hold on. He's got. I just want week 2. All right, week 2. It was Brian. No. Wow. I didn't even think Derrick Henry's on this. Okay, so he had. No, he only had what? He had 18.5 week 2. Week 1 he had 13.9. Week 2 18.5. Week 3 2. The Titans. You can't if you can get rid of them, but they're gonna lowball you. Because they know Derrick Henry is going to have games.
Of course. Because here's the crazy part. Okay, so week 2, he had 25 carries for 80 yards and a touchdown. So then you look at...
he finished with 18.5 points.
Right. This last game, 11 carries for 20 yards. I mean,
it's part who they played, and... It was a tough game, you know. It was a tough game. Like the Browns' defense is legit,
but we have to remember that Derrick Henry has played against awesome defenses and run defenses and bowled right through them and kept on. I mean, that was Derrick Henry before. That's not the Derrick Henry that we're looking at now.
And it's not the same offensive line either because Luan is gone.
That's a great point. It's definitely different.
So when your offensive line isn't there, good luck. I'm with J10 on this one. That offensive line is terrible.
Yeah, it is. I would trade him. I don't know what you're going to get for him, but I would.
Zach Moss is a great pickup, man. I'm so glad you picked him up because the moment I told you to get him, I took my ass and went and got him too.
Right.
I wasn't playing around. And when Jonathan Taylor comes back, I'm still starting Zach Moss because I don't know what Jonathan Taylor
is not going to play for the Colts.
He's not
going to play a down for the Colts. Baltimore will probably be giving the Colts a phone call about Jonathan Taylor.
Baltimore better have a few first-round draft picks.
They should
to make that happen.
They should have them anyway.
And I'm not used to Baltimore trading draft picks like that, but we'll see what happens. They need a running back.
They got to get a running back.
They got to get a running back. But Jonathan, isn't he coming off an injury though? Would you trade that? I wouldn't trade that shit for no injured running back. I ain't that desperate.
We don't know if he's still injured.
They can give up less, Peachy, They can give up less and trade for Elijah Mitchell.
Oh yeah, they absolutely can do it. They can do it. They can do it now. They can.
I'm just saying.
Come get him now.
I'm not trying to move on from Elijah Mitchell. I know a lot of people be like, "Oh, Breezy keep mentioning Elijah Mitchell." It's something weird. It's something
I'm trying
weird.
to move on from Elijah Mitchell.
Okay.
I actually said this last year that you can tell just by the way that the offense is constructed that it's just not like it's not Mitchell. Just like so far, he's just not. I don't know. It's just something, just like you said, there's just something weird. There's something just not, I don't know, the way he's out there. It just looks like he's like struggling. Like he makes the obvious struggle like when he's out there. Whereas McCaffrey's out there and, it flows, it goes. Whatever with Mitchell, where it used to be like that. Now it's not. So I don't know if maybe he's nervous about getting re-injured. Maybe Kyle is nervous about putting him out there so much. And maybe that's what it is. And maybe he's just going to spell him every once in a blue moon, or he's going to trade him. Like I think that is going to happen. He's going to get traded. He's trying to make sure he don't get hurt.
Who's going to be the highest scoring fantasy football player of week 4?
Oh man. No. I don't know. That's a good question.
I'm going with Justin Jefferson. I think Justin Jefferson getting 60 points.
Who's the Vikings playing?
The motherfucking Panthers.
Oh.
First of all, Kurt Carr is gonna throw 500 yards.
Good one.
Panthers done lost their whole defensive backfield. I think the Vikings ain't got no defense either. This is gonna be a shootout. I'm going with Justin Jefferson getting like 60 points.
Yo, Niners Nation, I hope you're right. I hope he's right. I hope it is CMC.
I mean, like, it could be. It could be. Taylor Swift for Waddle. Really? I know it's hard to guess. I'm just gonna pick an outlier. I'm looking at the matchups here. And Mose, I'm going Justin Jefferson is gonna score 4 touchdowns against that Panther secondary, yo. They got a good up front. They're good up front. They got a good pass rush. They'll get to Kirk Cousins a couple of times, but for some reason, Kirk Cousins, the more he gets sacked, the more yards he throw. So you just never know. I mean, seriously, like Moses, right? Like it could be somebody that we're not even thinking about. It could be somebody out of left field that it could be, but just pick a player. I just want you to pick a player.
Yeah.
I'm going with a known player because I know the player. So I'm not going to go with somebody unknown. And if it's somebody unknown, guess what? We're going to learn about him on next week.
Understood. It might
go with your guy. Go with Keenan Allen. He's been solid.
Yeah, I mean, I want to go with him, but you got me scared now with what you were saying about, since Mike Will's not there, then they can put all their focus on him.
You playing me with Jettis too, Mose. Shit.
Oh, wow. So you're just...
I can't stand him. I can't stand him.
Dang. That's crazy. I hope it's Ayuk or Kittle. I hope it's either one of them.
All right, so you go with the 49er players. I like it. Hopefully it's George Kittle. I would like to see George Kittle.
I would love for George. Yeah, me too.
Give me 3 touchdowns. Give me 100 yards.
Oh, I know who we forgot about.
Who?
Kelsey.
Yeah, you could say Kelsey. I mean, they playing the Jets.
Yeah, I understand
Jets got
that.
They got a good secondary.
I understand that, but
okay,
their defense is going to be worn out when they offense can't stay out there.
I'm not shooting you down. I am not shooting you down. I tell you what, though. Let's end it with this, Ronnie Montoya. What 49ers are returning from IR? I believe next week will be Danny Gray's time to return.
Yes.
I think Womack has another week.
Thank God, since it looks like that one of our receivers, we can never have nice things.
No, not at the same time.
Never at the same time. We can never.
Deebo Samuel's dealing with a rib and knee injury right now.
God.
So we'll see. But guys, thank y'all so much for tuning in.
Yes.
We truly appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys again next week on What's Your Fantasy. Peace out. Hey, look. Ruining dreams under pressure. Peachy be the one to bless ya, but don't test her. The queen reigns supreme, you know what I mean? Add the boy Breezy Prince like a king. When the two come together in any weather, they form a bond, stay tight in any measure. So it's my pleasure, the number one team. Let the world know what's your fantasy.